Just about every day, you'll find former wrestler Lex Luger here at the Shepherd Center in Buckhead. That's because he's receiving physical therapy. But he says he's on another very important mission, spreading the word of God.
You know, when we allow God to do what he does best, he can turn anything that the people outwardly look like a tragedy. He will always turn into a triumph when you give him the time to do it.
Former professional wrestler Lex Luger is sitting in a wheelchair at the Shepherd Center, a catastrophic care hospital in Buckhead. He suffered a serious spinal injury last October that left him as a complete paraplegic for 8 weeks. He says his faith in God carries him through because it's much different than the life he used to live as an unstoppable athlete. And even though he's taking daily therapy trying to learn to walk and regain his functions, he says he's never felt stronger thanks to the love of God.
While I'm rehabbing and rehabilitating, God's doing amazing things restoratively I'm so thankful for where I'm at right now. If God stopped right now, and this was his purpose to be in the physical state I'm right now, I'm so thankful to him.
Luger was a wrestling superstar performing for millions of fans all over the world. He was known as the Total Package, a chiseled 6'4", 270-pound professional wrestler who earned as much as $5 million a year during his wrestling days from 1986 to 2001. Lex Luger says he's happy he gave his life to Christ back in 2006. He now lives in Buckhead, and instead of being on fire in the wrestling ring, he says he's on fire for God.
The Lord leads my life now, moment in the moment, day by day, and he'll let me know how long I'm supposed to be here on a daily basis at Shepherd, and we're only here for a blink of an eye to the Lord because we can't even comprehend eternities.
Luger's injury happened when he was on a cross-country flight last October. It started with a stiff neck and grew into intense pain that left him paralyzed on a hotel floor in California. He says he was unable to move or call for help, but felt the presence of God.
God is so good, and acknowledge him always, and he'll direct thy paths. And he put that right in my head at that time. I just knew. I completely chilled out, had a complete serenity and peace and comfort about me. I just knew that people want to know what goes on in situations like that, but God was right there in the room with me. And when they had to bust the door down, like 4 hours later, somebody knocked on the door. I knew someone coming eventually.
He was taken to Stanford University Hospital where doctors told him he had massive swelling of his spine. Doctors believe the damage was the result of years of injuries he suffered playing football and wrestling.
But the wrestling part of it is, and always will be. That was fun. I always treasure that. We're doing it live, and we're doing it physical, and we lay it out there for the fans because that relationship we have, and you want to entertain them and have the best match of the night. So we do so. It is not a desk job. The moves are the bumps and the suplexes and the injuries. Like at a pay-per-view, there was usually more injuries than I had during my professional football career.
The now 50-year-old Luger, whose real name is Lawrence Fold, was transferred to the Shepherd Center in mid-March and now spends his time reading the Bible, going to physical therapy, and ministering to others. He says he now weighs in at 185 and can no longer bench press 585 pounds like he once could. In fact, he can't even lift a 2-pound dumbbell. But he says he's filled with joy and loves to tell others about the love of God. He also enjoys lifting the spirits of other patients, and he works alongside the hospital's chaplain.
He comes to assist me in my ministry there on Sundays, and then greets the people, and they have their photos taken with them, and then he befriends them after that meeting as follow-ups. So he's quite an inspiration.
To see him leave here with hope and independence and a smile on their face so many times, and tears of joy. It's an amazing experience to be here. And
doctors tell Luger it could be 2 years before he's able to recover. Lex Luger says he plans to continue to work hard to regain his physical strength, and he plans to continue to do the work of God. In Buckhead, Lisa Haynes, AIB News.